Vikings Banter. We are out here. Let's get it. How you feeling today?
Good, man. How are you doing? What's going on?
Look, we're sitting at this season right now where our record indicates everything looks beautiful.
Right.
But if you're watching these games, it unfortunately feels a lot like what we experienced with some of the Kirk Cousins stuff. Like luckily we're stacking wins. Like when you're supposed to win. So at the end of the day, the fact that we're stacking wins is beautiful, but I continue to get more fearful because we're not turning it on at the right time right now.
For sure.
There's not that many games left. We kind of have to figure our stuff out, and we're going into a lot of divisional games, and I think that's going to really prove like who we are. And at this point in time, like we're going to probably get past the Cardinals. Kirk's coming to town pretty soon as well.
Yep.
We need to figure our shit out.
Yeah, I mean the team is 8-2. We escaped with another win this week, kept it really tight on the road against the Titans. I was at the game, survived Nashville, by the way, lovely city, 10 out of 10. One of my favorite places to hang out. The cover bands are amazing. The crowd was amazing. 70-30, I would have to say, Vikings fans, ratio to Vikings fans over Titans. Titans
Really?
are on the, yeah, it was nuts, man. I
I'm
mean,
surprised to hear that because I've heard that they're at least
yeah.
starting to get into it over there, but apparently not.
Yeah, they're building a new stadium that'll be opening in 2027, I believe. It's a $2 billion stadium, enormous one. They're most likely going to have a Super Bowl in 2028 or 2029, something like that.
Yeah.
But just the fan base was dead, had no pulse. It seemed like they have just abandoned the team. It's becoming a visiting destination. People are going to come out to Nashville and do it. Like you can think about any other major franchise going to have a huge draw to come out to Nashville, party in the Music City and have a good time. But yeah, definitely 70-30. Was surprised at how dead Titans fans were. They have this little thing when they convert on third down, they're like, rah, and that's like, that was the coolest thing about them, but everything else kind of sucked. The vibe was like very low energy. I high fived over 100 Vikings fans, that's for sure. Um, but yeah, it kept us nervous there. They had a 98-yard touchdown against us. Another huge passing play given up by our defense, consistently getting beat down the field. I mean, we have a good secondary, but we just give up the big play, oddly enough, over and over again. And it's become frustrating, man. It's just a matter of time before the teams will come after us and throw the ball down the field. It's weird. They find little gaps in our secondary and make it happen. So,
Right. Well, it sucks because, like even like the Rams game, going back to this game freaks me out until we get to the playoffs because they're one of those weird teams that just they've ended up losing games that they could have won. They haven't showed
right.
up. They're not even going to make the playoffs. And they
Yeah.
absolutely killed us because we got outcoached. And I do still trust in Kevin O'Connell and Flores, and I think we have everything we need. And Sam Darnold's not the reason that we're losing these games. So
Right.
what's going on? Like he's the only factor of this team that should even be like potentially a weak link. And our defense, who we thought was the best defense in the league, is been our weakest link majority of the time here.
Yeah, you're seeing some inherent flaws with it. It ever since the second half of the Jets game, this team has been very shaky to me. After losing to the Rams and then losing to the Lions, and then having just weird games against the Colts, the Jaguars, and I'm now going to even put the Titans. It was nail biting even towards the end there. We were down or we were up 6 near the end there. We had to go respond with a quick touchdown, that little
Yeah.
screen to Cam Akers there at the end there. But it's been making me nervous. All these games are way tighter than they have been. We blew out the Texans. We were pretty much manhandling the Packers the whole first half. We looked like a very strong, competitive team. I was excited. I was excited. But ever since the second half against the Jets, this team has looked flawed. We can't run the ball. Our run game just seems despondent at best. Like we can't. Our interior line is giving up pressures. They're coming after Sam Darnold. We've had weird turnovers. We turn the ball over at a weird rate now. And it's starting to get frustrating. You're seeing these like major flaws that are sticking out with this team. Do we really have a true number two receiver anymore? Naylor with a couple very bad drops in the game. Addison left with cramps.
Yeah.
Hawkinson's really not done much since his return to injury. I mean, we haven't really like what can we expect from him on returning from an
No,
H? Yeah,
we should expect everything from him. He was the guy that was supposed to come in and immediately be like, "Look, you're an easy safety net for Sam Darnold. We have the top getting taken off the defense by Addison. Jefferson would have more space to work around, and then Hawk could easily just be all of these little undercutting balls to, and then an easy like red zone target. We're
yeah,
struggling in all of those spaces since he's been around. Um, so yeah, I like oddly enough, like Aaron Jones keeps on kind of outside of Jefferson. Jefferson obviously is like the best player on the team, bar none. It's not even close. Best player in the league. But when Aaron Jones, if he's not in, this team kind of gets like really wonky very, very quick. If he can stay healthy, which I can't really expect him to stay as healthy as we need him, especially like into this deep stretch. Um, when he's not on the field, I kind of lose a lot of trust in our offense being able to like walk it down the field.
for sure. I mean, you look at the stats here against the Titans. 15 carries for Aaron Jones, 10 carries for Cam Akers. They both had a 2.6 or 2.6 and a 2.5 yard average,
Yeah.
respectively. That's just not getting it done, period. Our run game's been tragic under Kevin O'Connell the last 2 years. We were 31st, and I think we're 32nd or 31st the year before, the year after. It doesn't matter. Just we're in the bottom every time with this.
And like, we didn't bring him in to have like an unbelievable run game. Really, he's done all the work that he needed to do with Sam Darnold. I think it kind of proves how good of a quarterbacks coach he is. I'm starting to go, I expected him to kind of open Addison up in a way that hasn't happened. He should have become like a true number two. That's why I think he gets cut within like the next 2 years or traded or however he gets off our team.
Yeah, he was dinged up with some cramps. He had 8 targets, 3 catches, and he did have a long touchdown, that long 47-yard touchdown. But
Yeah, because
you
he's
didn't.
fast as
Aside from
heck.
that, you didn't really hear from him at all. They had that. I'll say that again. The Jalen Naylor drop was crazy to me. Like, do you remember that one in the end zone
Yeah.
where it's like you have it in your breadbasket, you got to haul that in, man. But I thought
Luckily, that
Darnold.
hasn't been consistent, right? Like we've definitely had teams in the past that we could almost expect drop balls from. At least we're still a team that it's a surprise. Um, but our defense puts us in positions to win. I mean, literally between the Rams game and us basically barely beating the Jaguars, we're just setting my brain's already set up for we need to figure our shit out or else we're gonna get blown out in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm totally there with you. I'm totally there with you. 8-2, whatever, but it's like the wins have been anemic at best. It's like I know nothing like a dub on the road or whatnot, and we have another road game this week, by the way, Sunday against the Bears. So we need to take care of business within our division. You know how much I hate the Bears as well. So, um, just
Now
worried,
this is
man.
and if
Worried
what
about
if we could we're the type of team right now we could get like swept by the Bears and that would totally ruin our season. Even if we
100%.
got into the playoffs and get swept by the Bears, it's a wrap.
Yeah, we have some difficult games ahead of us. The Cardinals are playing a lot better with Kyler Murray. The Falcons, we know with Kirk Cousins, he's going to want to come in and do some revenge game type stuff with us at home at US Bank Stadium. Then we have the Seahawks. They've been kind of weird. They just beat the Niners, so that there's something to watch out for. The Packers are always a tough out, and then the Lions. So we have a tough sledding here to finish out the year. I mean, 8 wins. It's like I'm worried on some of these games here, especially Seahawks and Lions on the road. Those are tough ones, and you know how bad we are in Seattle,
Yeah.
just week in and week out. And so like
We're the
we're that
only
three
thing that
years
we
in a
have
row with
going
them.
in our favor is that like NFC South and NFC West are so bad that like
Yeah,
we're due to still have potentially three teams from the North get into the playoffs. But I mean, I continue to be like this tragic Vikings fan. Like, I don't even want to get in
for
the
sure.
playoffs. We're gonna get blown out.
Yeah, so if you want to look at the positives with us too, we are 8-2. Brian Flores' defenses are playing
Right.
much better. We have some dudes that are getting after the quarterback. Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel's been playing out of his mind, playing like he
Yeah.
has his hair on fire. Cam Bynum comes up with timely interceptions. Harrison Smith, a nice one there at the end. We do
Yep.
turn the ball over. Metellus got beat pretty bad, but all in all, he's been fantastic all year. I'm a big Josh
Mhm.
Metellus guy. Ivan Pace has come to play. Cashman had a nice sack. So we have some good things on defense for
Sure.
sure. If Darnold can get it done and we can have a little bit more protection up front, I thought it was pretty interesting about replacing Reisner or replacing Ingram with Ed Reisner, or
Yeah.
excuse me, Ed Ingram with Dalton Reisner. But yeah, so we have some things for sure, but a lot of things that we just haven't been able to fix all year that I'm just sitting there where it's like these are glaring weaknesses for this team. And we're gonna get exposed, I think, with better and better teams down the road. So but I mean
We
you got
kind of our schedule going in is interesting. The problem with our schedule right now is we just have so many divisional games that we have to walk through that are bound to be competitive either way, regardless of record. Um,
yeah.
and
Yeah, so we got
we kind of have the
four
target on our
division.
back. The Rams obviously have the biggest target currently in the NFL on their back outside of the Chiefs. But divisionally, I think we have like a unique one for Green Bay and the Bears where they go, let's just make sure we wreck these people's season. Right? It's like,
Yeah.
and just keep us down. Like, that's all the Bears really have to be able to look forward to right now is they get to potentially put us on notice, like
Yeah, they're
almost
playing a
back to
spoiler
back.
role right now. They have the guy Caleb Williams is rookie. He's only going to get better and better. Matt Eberflus is on the hot seat, so he's coaching for his job. They just got rid of their offensive coordinator. They almost beat the Packers last week too. They had to resort to a blocked field goal
Yeah.
in order for the Pack to pull out the W there. But yeah, I mean it's concerning going into Soldier Field. I'm not feeling 100% confident. I know when Darnold left the field against the Tennessee Titans, there was a resounding cheer. He did a skull thing. Aaron Rodgers or Aaron Jones, the same thing, did a big skull thing at the end
Yeah.
for like 30 seconds. People were cheering him. I mean, you're looking at what a drop away from Darnold throwing for 300 plus yards and then a touchdown and or two touchdowns then at that point. So we're going to have to rely on him to make a bunch of plays. He cannot turn the ball over. I'll say that again and again. That's a key point for us is we have to win the turnover battle. If we turn the ball over and we give the ball away to this Bears defense that can be stout at times, it's worrisome. It's worrisome. We can't do any stupid fumbles, any toss bullshit stuff early in the game. That's what annoyed me about the Titans game is we had a fumble early. I mean, Will Levis is not going to take opportunities on our Vikings defense. It's not going to happen. But I don't know. These are the things that I'm like frightened by, man. Is the Bears playing with nothing, literally nothing to lose. They're out there playing spoiler role at home at Soldier Field for them. It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a little colder, I'm assuming, right? You know how it is,
Yeah.
Chicago, a little windy. Our kicker's kind of been a little iffy too, missed an extra point. So got worrisome a little bit. We got two more games with the kicker. Then hopefully Will Reichart can come back for the playoffs. Still kind of a little bit weird with that one, but
Yeah, I don't.
yeah,
I truly just I want him to stay out of this. We can't. I do not want to go into the playoffs with like an injured kicker. I have no interest in it, especially
right.
something that's like those quad injuries or whatever he has, like those long nagging things. They can pop up at any moment. You just don't need it. Like there's no. We've been Vikings fans for too long. If there is, I am the type of Vikings fan. If you miss one field goal in the preseason, cut him
Huh.
immediately. And
You got a
so,
really short leash, huh? Yeah.
yeah, we have to. We have to because it's too competitive a job. There's too many guys that you can pick up out of anywhere that can, in theory, kick as many field goals as the next guy. And it comes down to the yips. And Will Reichert obviously doesn't have any of that, but an injury can create that situation very, very quickly.
Yeah, so I interestingly enough, after the Vikings game, I ran into John Parker Romo's family. They were
Okay.
wearing the 96 jerseys that said Romo on the back. And so I walked up, I'm like, "Are you guys related?" They're like, "Yeah, yeah, where's mom and dad?" And I think his brother was there.
Yeah.
And then so I, talked to him a little bit. They're like, he's really excited for the opportunity. He's had he has two more games now, so we'll see what happens with Reichardt. But yeah, very nice very nice family. We're rooting for the guy. I don't wish anything bad on him, but it's
No,
like
keep it rolling, bro.
you did miss an extra point there, and I was a little worried about that 6 point lead there at the end. It's just like, oh, if we lost by one, it's like it's on you, bud. It's on
Yeah.
you. So,
That's why I think that
yeah,
honestly, I go back to I think Quezi has done like such an amazing job of making sure that we have like adequate depth and we truly have a team that I don't look at any individual player outside of Addison as being really like underserving the team at this particular moment. Expected more from Hawk, but who knows yet. Um, it's really come down to coaching more than anything that's been our biggest issue going into a lot of these games. And again, I guess you have to give the coaches credit. We've come out with wins, and in the NFL, anytime that you come away with a win, that's all you can really ask for. But can we keep on stacking them? Now, at this part of the season, I want to make sure that our team gets into a flow. They have to get to a place where we have to see like perpetual growth and we need to see that camaraderie kind of get together and people just we got to get rolling. We still have enough time to certainly do that. But we're in that flux right now where it could go either way.
yeah, I think now's the time to turn it up. We've had a little 2, 3 stupid games in a row, kept it real tight, but I think we got to roll into Soldier Field and really spank him and really put a
Yeah.
licking on Caleb Williams, get after him, make him feel uncomfortable all game, defend these receivers, no long plays. That's the main concern for me. Is just too many big plays. And on the offensive side of the ball, it's like, yeah, you blame the coaching. I don't know. Some of these turnovers, though, are execution based. It's like a stupid pitch or Darnold had a wrong read. Thank God he didn't throw any interception last week, right? But it's like these turnovers, we cannot continue to turn the ball over. This team just it wins. We win at a super high clip. If we win the turnover battle, if we lose a turnover battle, we're pretty much toast, right?
Yeah.
So now is the time to turn it up, start to build a little momentum and go into the playoffs. If we're on a downward swing, if we're eking by games like stuff like this, I'm not liking our chances in the playoffs. But let's say we start turning the heat up, we play better ball here. We're 8-2, man. I mean, it's like how we're at this point, you and I are just nitpicking the team a little bit and getting
Well,
frustrated
yeah,
by it.
but
But
it's
it's like,
because we're the type of team that we are to me right now. I have like full confidence that we're going to the playoffs. We have to start setting up our mentality of how do we stack within, the top kind of five teams, the top seven teams that are really going to have like a chance to kind of pick at that. The NFC's in a very
yeah,
interesting space where it is like truly anybody's time to be able to kind of step up and be like a perennial favorite.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
coaching on down, we have everything that should work right now. And that's why I think they deserve a good amount of scrutiny because I truly think that we're that good of a team. Like we should be held to
Sure.
that standard.
There are a lot of good teams in the NFC too. The Falcons are playing well. They kind of scare me. I know they got blown out last week against the Broncos, but Cards are sneaky good. The Rams beat us. Seattle and Rams, Seattle, and Niners are all 5-5, and any one of those teams
I
could
guess
surprise us.
yeah, like the NFC West is so bad that yeah, you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
the Rams could easily still make the playoffs.
Then we got the Commanders too at 7-4. That this Jaden Daniels guy scares me too. I don't want to see him in the playoffs. I don't. I don't. I know he's a rookie, whatever, but it's still.
Nah, he's
And
got the
then
sauce.
and then the Eagles. The Eagles are 8-2, and then they've been playing really well. They had a couple snafus there with their head coach going for two and whatnot, and but they're scary team. Jalen Hurts gets it done for them. They have nice receivers there. Uh, AJ Brown and what's his name, Devontae Smith. So they're
Yeah,
going to cause problems for our secondary if we face them. I don't want to see the Eagles. Um, but yeah, and then we got the Lions too. They're the creme de la creme in the NFC. I fully expect the Lions to win the NFC. If we
right.
if we get them in the if we can get them in the championship game, something like that, and we lose on week 18 with them, I have a feeling we could beat them the third time around.
I truly think we're
But
the only team
yeah,
that can pick the Lions off
mm,
just because we're gonna have that edge against them. It's the type of rivalry that you generally split. And I
right.
think that, I do think we see the Lions three times this year because of a playoff.
Mm,
And it's going to come down to like regardless of even if we lose we play them
Week 18.
week 18. See
Last
that
week of the year, yeah. So
wait, so
here's
could
the thing:
that be an
we could be
immediate
already
turnaround?
we could have sewed up a playoff berth, and may be on first round bye or something like that. So we might be resting our starters kind of
Well,
deal.
we
We'll
could
see
lose
how the rest of
twice
these.
to the Lions, and that would be this weird space in the playoffs where you go, that's an oddly kind of a good place to be in,
Right,
where
right.
you've
I'm totally
gotten
there
hit
with you.
twice, you know their game plan, you've seen all their BS. How quick of a turnaround would we play them? Could we play them like the next week?
I'm convinced they're going to get a first round bye. So
Okay, yeah,
it
that's
would be
right.
a home game for them, most likely in Ford Field or wherever the hell they play if they renamed it Ford Field. And then
Yeah,
it would be like we would have to win a wild card round in order to get there,
so
whether
we'd
it
have to go
be
like play the Rams or something like that,
the
and then we would
Cards or something, yeah.
got
And
it.
then we would have to go play or the Eagles even, and then we'd have to go play them. If we were there, or it could be depending on how it played. It's the seating is so weird right now. It's a little too early for us to speculate, but it would be second or NFC Championship game against the Lions. That's what it would be. And for us to go to the NFC Championship game, oh, like this is crazy speculation, but I would agree with you there, LJ. I do like that game at Ford Field, Vikings Lions. It's like bring it, bitch, you know. So,
Right. That's, I mean, that's
um,
the game I want to see in the playoffs. I'm very scared of that game at the same time because the Lions are truly the best team in the NFC by far right now, undisputed. Um,
but we were
what?
so close. If we just get that one first down at the end there on that third and long, we would have run the clock out and we would have beaten them. And then they wouldn't have come down the field and kicked a field goal to beat us too, right? And we were also 20, 30 seconds away in that game from Will Reichart coming out and trying to boot a 57, 58-yard game winner, right? I mean, we just simply
Right.
ran out of time there. We didn't convert on a third down. I think that these guys are hungry. And in the NFL, they kind of see these things. They keep score and they're like, all right, well, you kind of got us this time, but it's like you play them 10 times. I think we beat them like 6 times straight up. That's how
Yeah.
I felt that good about the team. Yes, with our glaring weaknesses, like the things that I mentioned there, but
You know what? One
yeah,
thing I would
man.
love to check and maybe even like put into a reel within this. I'd love to see how our strength of schedule of what we've already played now that the records have panned out to be the records that they are, right? Because when we came out and blew out the Giants and beat up on the 49ers, the blowout of the Texans, that was unbelievable. But
Yeah.
we beat the Jets. Like all of these teams that we thought we were beating, we're like, oh dude, we're one of those guys that our strength of record to this point maybe is pretty weak.
Right, right. I see what you're saying there. The Texans did blow out
The Texan game was crazy. It was like
the
we got him.
they
We
did blow out the Cowboys. So now they're 7-4. They're first in the AFC South.
but the
And
Texans sucked. Or the Cowboys sucked though. I think they
yeah,
finally they're gonna throw it all away. So, but looking at our schedule, other than playing the Lions, the Pack are pretty good, but we really haven't had that difficult of a schedule when it comes down to the records of the teams that we've played now, when perennially these teams have been great. Now it's like,
yeah.
are they?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We've beaten is that right? Yes, that is right. We've beaten every team in the AFC South now. We swept them. Just like we did, was it 2 years ago when we swept every team in the AFC East. So that's what Kevin O'Connell does. We takes care of divisional games, our AFC opponent, right? So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. The Texans, the Colts, the Titans, and the who's the other team? The Jags. So that's I don't know. I'm fine with where we are, but just these glaring weaknesses, man, we've got to correct. And I hope the coaching staff can figure it out this week against the Bears. Give me a prediction here. What do you got here this Sunday, Soldier Field? It's 5.5 point spread. We're on the road. Caleb
Yeah.
Williams lost last week. They're talking about how he had such a crappy start to his NFL career.
Yeah, I've been giving us too many points. I keep on
Okay.
thinking that we're, this offensive masterclass that we originally started this season with, where it's like we're gonna throw 30 on the board. Now that I look back on it, I'm like, okay, we really haven't done that often, if
No,
We've only done it twice this
no.
season. So now I have to turn around and go, okay, this is gonna be one of those kind of grind them out,
Yeah,
NFC North, maybe a little messy, maybe a little boring,
for
but
sure.
I think this sadly is gonna be one of those games where it's like 24-17 or 24-18
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
It's just there's gonna be some field goals. It's gonna get dirty. There's gonna be a lot of turnovers. Like, I don't know.
If we can win the turnover battle, we win the game. Period. That's how I view it.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell's teams continue to do this kind of shit. So I'm gonna say it's like 17 like 16 Vikings. It's literally a stupid game like that where it's just
And let's
gross.
start a tradition, regardless of how good Caleb Williams is going to be, which I think he'll be pretty good, even though I really have faith that the Bears are going to potentially ruin his career. Let's start this momentum that the Vikings and Flores have his number.
Yep.
So, regardless of how good he could be over the next 10 years, it's like, let's start that statistic going where it's like, for some reason, he just can't beat the Vikings.
I like
They
that.
have.
I like that. We
So
got to set
we
the
need
tone
to
with him
begin
early.
that
I don't want
tradition
him to own our.
starts
Yeah,
today or it starts on Sunday. And we can say in 10 years, it's like, yeah, great. He's a Hall of Famer, but he still couldn't figure the Vikings out.
I like it. I like it. Get
What do
after
you
him,
now?
force some interceptions. I literally said, I gave my prediction 17-16. I think we do come out with a W, but it'll be nail bitingly close. And I think you're going to look at Caleb Williams will do some mistake at the end there that'll cause us to win. It'll be a late interception again, like we always do. It'll be a weird turnover. We've had so many of those. Have you noticed this whole year has been like that? Like a late turnover, like we pick them, like we stop them. Same thing with the Jags games. You know, the Colts, same thing. It's like all this.
Dude,
The Titans
our
game, the same
last
thing.
3 games have been so boring.
It's bad, bad.
They're
Yeah,
boring. They're odd. They're not really nail biting because it doesn't feel like we're ever gonna lose them.
right.
But they've been hard to watch. Like, watching it with my daughter on the couch, they're the type of games that I'm like nodding off while I'm watching it,
Yeah,
going, wake up. I don't want to fall asleep during
yeah,
this game. So I'm sick of that because we started this season with like the most exciting, high flying, just and defense just like blowing people out. So I want to see our defense really start to just get back on track, be those turnover hawks, be the purple rain
mhm,
that we need them to be, like be that reign
totally.
of terror. Now, I do want to talk about we have speculation that Aaron Rodgers is coming to the Vikings
Mm,
in the next
I
few
see
years.
it. I
We
can
have
see
to
it.
we have to bring it up.
I can see
I
it.
You can actually see it.
Yes. So it's like JJ McCarthy has another setback with the meniscus. Sam Darnold gets paid and another team takes care of Sam Darnold. Mullins is not under contract, so he walks, goes somewhere else, right?
Well,
And
Mullins
all of a
isn't the
sudden, like,
future of anything.
I know, but he's our other quarterback on our roster. We don't Brett Ripien, who knows if he comes back, our other third quarterback. So it's
So he
like,
would sign like a 2-year deal with us, or what would it be like?
so that's what I'm saying. It would be we'd get him really cheap. He's like, cool, there's some pieces. We got JJ, right? We got O'Connell. Maybe he and O'Connell like somehow hit it off. We get Brian O'Neill and like Harrison Phillips to go recruit him out of the dark room, right? Something like that happens. And it's like I'm going to Minnesota. History tends to repeat itself, right? I mean, he literally went far, if we're talking now, went from the Packers to the Jets to the Vikings. And it's like Aaron's gonna go from the Packers to the Jets and it's kind
Right.
of like, like
I guess
what's
our best
next,
recruiting
right?
tool is just Justin Jefferson for any quarterback in the league.
Yeah,
Right.
they
So,
got JJ. Maybe we get rid of Addison. I don't know. Maybe Addison picks it up the end of the year. Now it seems like a cool vibe, and he's like, okay, we got Hawkinson a year away off of his ACL right now, and like let's say he picks it up as well, and it looks good and it feels good, right? Darisaw is going to come back at left tackle. Brian O'Neill's been a stud. Maybe we get like another piece on O line. We have Quasey go talk to Aaron Rodgers, like, all right, man, we're gonna sign this dude off the street, right? So
and
I
so,
could
and then
I
he
could
would be
see
the,
it happening. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I, I want to see like McCaffrey's era begin. I'm ready for it. Like, I don't like hearing the
McCarthy, you mean?
the
Yeah.
silent surgery, the silent little second surgery that they're saying, oh, it was non-invasive, it was just a needle. I don't like to hear any of that. You know, we've we've just seen it like with the Teddy Bridgewaters, the all these different quarterbacks we've had come through our roster that it just falls apart a little bit. He doesn't. I don't know. I don't know enough about the guy. We
100%.
didn't even learn enough about him in college to know like his grittiness, right? So
Right.
he's a blank slate.
Yeah, yeah, I'm wearing his jersey right now as we say this too. But it's like, yeah, man, like there was no play that he got injured with the meniscus. He woke up 2 days later feeling sore, and then they went in and did the surgery, and they're like, "You're out for the year." And it's like, what do you mean? Like you didn't get hurt? You weren't like hit wrong or like rocked.
Like an out for the year
We couldn't
injury should
find
be like
any.
rolling
Right,
around on the sidelines, get carted to the blue tent, or just directly like no blue tent. Like immediately, like, dude, they're taking him inside.
right. Or they're
That's what a
writhing in pain, or
season-ending injury looks like.
someone's sitting there doing prayers next to everyone's got their helmet off, and they're like, "Oh my
Yes.
God." But it was like literally, it was like 2 days later. We played that game on it was like Friday or Saturday, and then he came in Monday. Like I got swelling in the knee, and they're like, "Scope it out for the year." Like that to me is so. It's like, are you gonna keep
It's
doing this
so
kind of shit?
suspect,
Like
bro.
you're gonna be like, "Oh, he was playing a pickup basketball game." It's like blew an ankle. It's like there's absolutely no guarantee with this dude. There's none. So I think you've got to kick the tires on Rodgers a little bit. Like how much of that was to blame with the receivers, like Devontae Adams, they fired their coach. Maybe their O coordinator Hackett really didn't get on the same page like it had been. But it's like, if I'm Quasey, I'm kicking the tires on Rodgers. I am. You want a strong backup plan. Mullins doesn't do it for me. Ripien doesn't do it for me. And it's like if it's just McCarthy there, like you have to have a contingency plan. Period.
Yeah. How like I even I didn't like seeing it, but I look at guys like Flacco and stuff where our coach is like dabbing him up, and I'm like, dude, don't do this. We don't need I don't know. I don't like the old quarterback guy coming in and just grooming it up for one more season. We've the league has proven itself to be better to just get momentum with the young quarterback early. The sit
Mhm.
and wait. When has that really worked in the last few years? That someone just like sat around and waited. If you're gonna be like the next superstar of a team, the team doesn't do that.
I just, this is what worries me coming into next year now. It's like, do you play JJ McCarthy in the preseason? It's like, oh shoot. Like if he gets injured, we're kind of screwed again, right? So it's like, and he already got injured last year in the preseason. So are you sitting him those 3 preseason games? Like, what are you doing with that?
Yeah, it sucks because like the young quarterback, you should be excited to see him like on Minnetonka on a jet ski. And because he already got scoped, I never want to see him on a jet ski his entire career.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. I feel you on that. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah. And he just bought Joe Mauer's house. Did you see that?
Oh, he did.
Yep. Yeah. So hopefully
Whoa.
that Hall of Fame kind of stuff rubs up on and there's some juju in there, but it's like, oh,
I
so
always thought Joe Mauer
Joe
was living with his
Mauer,
parents the whole time. What did he buys Joe Mauer's parents' house?
no, he at some
Is he
lake.
on Minnetonka? Where is he at?
No, it's I would have to look that up. It's some lake, maybe White Bear or something. I had,
Okay.
but he bought Joe Mauer's house. So, but I'm a little worried now because Joe Mauer's had knee injuries and the bilateral leg weakness, and he's been also a flake with injuries. So you're just like, what's going on in the water
Well,
there?
I mean, yeah, that house is like just yeah, that's horrific to hear. Because he's one
You
of the
don't like
biggest
that,
flops of
but
Minnesota
it's like,
history.
but Mauer was also HOF, right? I mean, he just got it. He just got elected in the Hall of Fame. So
Joe Mauer got in the Hall of Fame.
yeah, come on, man. Yeah, he did. As a catcher, though, he had insane numbers, won batting titles. It's like if you win a batting title as a catcher, they're going to put you in the hall, man. That's how it works.
Dude, baseball sucks. Because Joe Mauer was boring. Like our team, like, yeah, we could maybe get to the playoffs. How many playoff appearances do we even have with the
Right.
Twins?
I mean, we just sucked against the Yankees year in and year out. He had one
Yeah.
MVP type season. I think he had like 4 or 5 All-Star games. Fact check me.
We had like
All
I
these
remember
Twins
we did
fans are
have
going to
like
come
big
crawling up our
winning
ass.
seasons, right? We were the best team many years in a row when it came
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
record, but we knew we were gonna get blown out of playoffs.
Ron Gardenhire won a lot of games for the team, but it just Yeah, the Joe Mauer thing. I don't know. That's another tangent there for another day. But yeah, I mean, I'm nervous about the quarterback situation in Minnesota. I totally am. I totally am. Like to tell me that you're not worried about that injection that he had to do. Like I'm devastated. But to hear about more swelling, like what is going on with the swelling thing? I don't get that. Like stop. Yeah.
There again, like a young guy like him just coming out of college, we should be having more conversations about like he thinks he's invincible. Like
Mm.
he's driving too fast, he's on jet skis, he's partying too hard. Not, oh wow, like just Tuesday morning had to get just ruined his whole season. Maybe he must have slipped on the stairs or something. Did they ever give us like a hit that happened? It was just a
No, they never
non-contact,
found it was a non-contact trash. But
non-contact
like,
season-ending
can we
injury.
talk? Okay, let me ask you this: how do you feel about Jordan Addison, man? So let me preface here. He told the cop that he was driving 130 miles an hour to go to his dog that was having a medical emergency. Like, what's up with that, right? And then they bring him on Tellus with Metellus, and he says he has Elon Musk in his phone. You're like, bro, what are you? You're a fucking liar, man. And then
Again, I don't
what's
understand
going
Gen
on with
Z.
Jordan Addison? Yeah.
He needs to be cut.
You
He
you
like
think we should trade him? He's a first round pick, mind you. Of
I
course,
think
he's
he should
missed
be
on a lot of
cut.
these, but hit on like every free agent we've signed. So I don't know
Yeah, I
what
can't give Quezzy crap. Like, dude, Quezzy has been a genius. He's kind of playing Moneyball right
he
now.
can't draft though. He can't draft.
But
Lewis Seen, all these dudes that we've had to cut, like Brian
he
Asamoah
had
has
an
been kind of a
incredible
failure.
offseason.
He can only do the undrafted free agents and the free agents. Like those are his main two things.
I'm not
And
giving him crap, dude. He's honestly
But the
Moneyball.
Addison thing, the Addison that you're a first round pick, dude, and you're leaving with cramps, like you had little flashes of brilliance, but then you tell me that you have Elon Musk in your phone and you're speeding 130 miles an hour, like to go save your dog, and you get it's like, what's going on here? And then you get a DUI in the off season, like, dude, stop it. I have no idea. Like the guy's psyche is like totally wrong. He seems That's the thing. I saw him walk into the locker room. Everyone's pumped. Aaron Jones, like I mentioned, doing the skull. Sam Darnold doing the skull. JJ with handing people his gloves and stuff. And then you see Jordan Addison walking, no emotion, not waving to anyone, with his pads, like walking with just blank stare on his face. Like, what's in your head? What are you thinking, buddy? So that dude is puzzling and it's just upsetting me. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be our number two guy, and you barely have over 300 yards receiving. Like you have like a few, it was like what, three touchdowns, four touchdowns. Looked at it. I mean, he's just
Yeah.
not doing what we asked him to do. I
Dude,
know he
he's
had a weird
these
ankle
emo
injury.
guys, these emo guys that come out of USC are tragic.
The free three thing was a little weird too. And it's like, I just have to rip on the
I
guy
need
for a
to
little
see
bit.
what that really means because I hear that has been happening since college. He obviously has it on a chain. So I don't know what that is. Maybe is it like he thinks he's like this is him like getting open, like free three, like getting free. Who knows? But he's got an emo thing to him. He doesn't have a morale guy type of thing.
No.
He doesn't have superstar energy. And then he doesn't seem to have like good teammate energy.
Right.
So as a
And I
number
can't say because I'm
two,
not with him though, but it's like, dude, you're emotionless. You're quiet. You don't say anything. It's like JJ, I feel like, is just as good a teammate as you can get. Kevin O'Connell made a comment. Oh,
and he's not a cool quiet. He's not like a Marcus Sherrill's quiet. He's not like this,
no.
silent, confident, like hardworking guy. It seems like he's emo,
Yeah, like
Gen
like
Z quiet.
he's a lot relied on his athleticism, and it's like he doesn't really even know what's happening. I get the sense he doesn't even look at film. That's just
Yeah. Well, he's drinking, he's doing pills, he's not really hanging out with teammates. Like, yeah. I don't like it. I think we should cut him.
and then Jalen, it's like, what do we have after him? Jalen Naylor, who dropped two passes, like
Dude,
a
Jalen
50
Naylor's
yard
kind of
bomb.
sick though.
He
He's
had
kind of tight.
the drop bugged me, man. It did. Absolutely. I was like, man. And then what do we have after that? Brandon Powell. Like it's a steep drop off. Brandon Powell, in my mind, is just a punt returner, kick returner type of guy. Has limited upside, limited. It's like, yeah, you can get him on a end around or a drag route or a screen or something like that. But it's like I don't. And then
But again,
maybe
dude,
maybe we
honestly, like,
start getting
but Oliver and Munt have
Tristan
kind of played
Jackson.
well.
They have,
These two tight ends we've had, they've kind of been clutch.
yeah.
They've been surprising. Like we have 3 tight ends that can catch balls, like make plays, get the first downs. But
But
yeah,
Hawkinson's got to start producing more, man. And then,
yeah.
especially after the comments that I heard with Kevin O'Connell saying it's like as if you're playing 5-on-5 basketball. It's like 3 dudes are guarding JJ. It's like other people need to get involved immediately. With that statement, it's like, where's Addison then? Where's Addison? If 3 people are covering JJ on a 5-on-5 basketball, it's like we need other dudes to step up. We have to have that happen.
Our
Period.
underneath game should be so consistent that all we need is a guy that's just like sticks to his routes, catches balls, gets good with Darnold or whoever our quarterback's going to be. And our second and third wide receiver have the easiest jobs in the league.
See, at this point, I would have loved to have Thielen back instead of Addison.
Dude, no. Thielen left us, man.
I get it. I mean, he wanted to get the bag. He wanted to get the money. It's like, hey, yeah, let's go live in Carolina for a couple years. Why not? Screw it, right? But it's like at this point, I want some guy who's not as flashy as Addison. In some plays, it's like a more consistent underneath guy who's going to be a teammate, dude. That's what I want
For
in
sure.
that
No, don't
position.
get me wrong.
Yeah.
Thielen still would be the perfect combination.
Yeah.
Again, he thought he was going to be a superstar, and he's like, I got to get out from under Diggs. I'm going to be better than a Jefferson. I need to be my own star. It's like, you're not that guy.
On
Like,
the
you need to
downside of your
have that
career. Yeah.
reliable Chris Carter type guy that's like, I know I'm great. I have this confidence, but I also know who's the best player in the league.
Totally. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think, Addison doesn't have the headspace to be around a Jefferson, because you do have to have like a wild amount of confidence at the same time, knowing you'll never be as good.
I just don't understand how Addison like playing with Jefferson, that doesn't elevate your game. You want to be great just being around that guy. Like, period. I mean, I don't know. Like,
You should have like literally, you should be in every photo with him. Your
they're
timeline
not.
should look like you're married to the guy,
I've never seen it. Maybe
right? They
fans
should
can
have
jump
buddy
in and
pics. Every
fans can
single time
jump in and
Jefferson's
respond.
walking in, you should see whoever his number 2 is, just like right behind him.
Does it seem like
A
they even hang
stand.
out? I don't even know. I don't know.
All right, bro. It's a good conversation. Leading into what? So we got the Bears coming up.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that it should be an easy W. Once again, we've said it. We keep on stacking those wins. Let's make it happen. No more boring games.
I
These
think
games are
we don't cover the spread. I think you got to lay it with the Chicago Bears points and the under. If you're a
What's
betting
the
guy or
spread?
whatever, it's like 5.5. I have to look at the over under, but the team total here, it's not great. But this team has not inspired me of late, and this just feels like a trap game on the road, and so something that I'm worrying about. It's 3.5 now. That's scary. And then the team total. Try to guess the team total, LJ. I just looked it up.
So both teams?
Try to guess the point total. Yeah, the entire game.
Yeah, it's not going to be great. I think it's going to be like 45.
39.5. That's how low it is. Yeah. Combined. Yeah. Yeah.
And 45, I was shooting low. I was
Yeah.
low.
Yeah.
Even though I did set my score within that range. I just hope that, I guess I get it. I get why that is.
It's going to be a tight game with low scoring. That's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, Vegas is telling us that. So,
all right. Well, appreciate you, bro. We'll see you over and out. God bless you all. Skol Vikes, and let's roll.